Hello, everybody. Round seven is in the books for Euroleague. We had performances from some players that they haven't been on the greatest games till now. We have some amazing results, but I will talk more about individual performances, starting from Real Madrid, that they remain at the top with a very convincing win at home. But we had Tavares bank on the top form, 17.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 30.8 PIR with the bonus of the win. And of course, with him, Campazzo, as EuroLeague mentioned themselves, having one of the most impressive 3 minutes of play somewhere in the middle of the game when he really took over the game and he had a PIR of 15 in that part of just 3 minutes, and he ended the game with another double-double. I think it's the third this year, if I'm correct, with 18 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 9 fouls drawn, just 1 turnover, and plus 42.9. So I think some people were really happy to have him as their captain and get 85 points. um, then we had another strange one where Partizan managed to win over Fenerbahce, but there we had Hayes Davis doing one of the best first half we've seen from a player recently. He at the halftime, I think he already had 21 points and he hasn't missed a shot. He was just unstoppable. Then it seems like Fener managed to stop him a little bit. He ended up with 35 PIR. So another player that wasn't on his greatest form this year, like Tavares, that he seems to bounce back on this one, even though Fener didn't manage to win. But I think you know more about this, Konstantinos, right?
Yes, that's right. I had the chance. It was a great experience to watch the game Partizan versus Fenerbahce from Stark Arena. It was an amazing game. The atmosphere, in my opinion, is just unique. Just only in Stark Arena you can see this atmosphere. I did not sit on my seat for a second throughout the game. And the other 29,999 fans as well. They were cheering and singing for Partizan the whole time. It's just, in my opinion, if you have watched the game, it's not the best game that Partizan played this year. It was exactly the opposite. But the atmosphere and the fans gave the boost to the team in order to pick it up step by step, like to cut the margin, the deficit, and after all, to overcome and win the game. Even though, if you did not watch the game, there is a crucial mistake from an inbound pass from PJ Dozier to Kaminsky. So my Partizan had the last attack, but now Fenerbahce had the ball. But Partizan played defense, and Dorsey missed the 3-point shot. But all in all, it was an amazing experience. It's just great.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one place every basket fan needs to go at some point.
Yes.
Is up there perhaps with Maccabi in Tel Aviv when things are back to the normal, and maybe the Greek derby, or Zalgiris, of course. And I would say personally also like the Lyon atmosphere as well, and they're also making a new bigger stadium that would be great, so that would be nice as well. But yeah, so nice, great experience, Konstantinos. Back to the results then. Other players that they step up and had amazing games was for Panathinaikos in Berlin. Mitoglu having a 33 PIR, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and Vildoza that another player that wasn't performing the whole year stepped up. First half, 4 out of 4 3-pointers. He seemed back on his usual game, like we know him, and hopefully he stays like that.
To be honest, let me add to this point. In my opinion, it was. I didn't watch the game. I did because I was in Belgrade, so I didn't watch the game. But seeing the stats after the game, I believe it's the first game that we see the duo of Vildoza and Slukas both performing very well for the team. So, Ataman had the duo of Larkin and Misic in FS. So maybe he has something similar in his mind. But that was the first game that both played and performed in a high level for Panathinaikos.
For sure. And that reminds me, mentioning again the Belgrade, that reminds me also perhaps in Bologna is a nice one to be in a maybe a big Italian derby or in playoffs. So then we had Parker doing his best game, having his best game for Barca and having actually a crucial 3-pointer towards the end of the game. He had 20 points and 20.9 performance rating with the bonus of the win. We had Teodosic playing well and Mitrovic on the other side. Perhaps there was a foul on Teodosic's 3-pointer that he made that wasn't given, and maybe things will be different. But all in all, I think Barca was more convincing in that game. Monaco Diallo, he's in great form this year. 29.7 PIR, 6 out of 9 3-pointers, 21 points, and the crucial 3 to get his team to +7 with 1 minute and 39 seconds to the end versus Asvel on the derby there. And we know the whole mess with Messina, with Pankos. Actually, we called that on our previous episode. That was before this whole thing with the journalist and what Messina has said accordingly to them. Because many of the things that they've been writing, they were not actually on tape or on video. So some of them, to be honest, seem really foolish to say for a top coach like Messina and make all this mess. But okay, it's something they need to, they need to solve themselves. However, Mirotic, he did his part on the court, 19.7 rebounds, 25.3 PIR. And we were talking about Low. Low has to step up. Low had 10 points and 6 assists, 16 PIR, so he helped a little bit on that win. And then moving to what proved to be a buzzer beater for Baskonia over Olympiacos. So Moneke had 30.8 PIR with 20 points, and Sedekerskis had 29.7 PIR, another great game with another double-double on points and rebounds for Sedekerskis, 12 points and rebounds.
Amazing year so far for Sedekerskis and for Moneke, but Sedekerskis is very impactful because now he has a big role now in Baskonia. So now it's his time to step up and shine on the court.
Yeah, he's doing it, as you said, all these years he had done the step up. On the Olympiacos side, we had very good performance from Fall and Peters, both with 24 PIR, but it wasn't enough. Then we have Clyburn on Efes Algiris, another player that is not performing, and we mentioned that on the previous episode. He did step up, 30.8 PIR, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He did help Zalgiris win. Of course, that was an overtime game, and Larkin, he was trying consistently at the regular time to get the game, but he wasn't successful with the 3-pointers. But then in the end, in the overtime, he had a layup, and he He cleans the game. Um, Finally, I mentioned Maccabi before. Maccabi, he won 93 to 90 over Bayern Munich. Um, we had Baldwin returning to action. He seemed that he wasn't 100%. He had 6 turnovers, but still, he managed to score. He managed to get fantasy points, and he seems like it's gonna be a good time, for coaches to get them on their team, as we expected to. Maybe not the next, but maybe it's a double week, so there is a chance he explodes during the week. Um, and as we know, he was losing points from not playing. So it's a good pick. On this game, then we had Colson for another game being very impactful, 19 points and 24.4 PIR with a bonus of the win. Brown 20.9 with a bonus, 13.7 assists. So the usual plays for Maccabi winning the game. Yeah, so as you can see, was I think one of the best rounds this year, and makes things way more complicated in terms of fantasy, as you have players that questionable were not performing. Now they seem to be back. So plenty of different options for the next. So if I move then to round 8, maybe we can talk about the coach selections. So Konstantinos, over
Mhm.
to you. And remember, guys, before you start, this is a double fixture week, so these games are on the 14th on Tuesday.
Yes. So we have a double week. Now you see some very interesting games. I will say, for example, you see Valencia, Real Madrid, and Baskonia versus Barcelona. So a lot of Spanish games. It's not rivalries, but Spanish from the top teams games. The game, as you may say, it's the highlight of round 8 is Virtus Segafredo Bologna versus Emporio Armani. This is the Italian derby. Um, Again, that's a big, big game for Coach Messina. Uh, you know, they have to win again so they can start building a winning mentality. So far, as Bill said, you know, the season so far for Olimpia Milano is more about the saga, about Pangos, about Napier, that started 2-3 days ago, rather than the achievements on the court. So, um, also Maccabi Olympiacos is a game to watch to see if Olympiacos comes back. But they're playing versus a very well structured team, and on the court they perform. And also Monaco FS. Let's see if FS can start winning and build up a winning streak. So for the coach selections now that Bill mentioned, from let's say the top tier, we have Coach Ataman, the coach of Panathinaikos, with 9.4 credits. Panathinaikos playing versus Zalgiris. Zalgiris lost even in the local league versus Wolves, if I'm not mistaken. So Panathinaikos won versus Aris in the local league. So um, I think Panathinaikos wants to bring this victory versus Alba and start, building and bringing W's to the team so they can improve in the standings overall. Next, we have Odet Katash from Maccabi with 7.2 credits. Maccabi, as we said, is a very, very well structured team, and they perform and they roll on the court. Olympiacos, on the other hand, they have some difficulties, let's say, for the moment. Maybe they lack a piece, at the guard position. Also, Nikola Milutinov, the main and starting center of Olympiacos, has some injury issues at the moment. But nonetheless, it will be a great game to watch. And last, we have the Alba Berlin versus Asvel. So both coaches have 4 credits. I'm talking about Gonzalez and Pocheco. But we believe that Pocheco and Asvel will overcome this game. Pocheco has coached for 3 games so far, I believe, in Euroleague for Asvel, and Asvel is completely different team. Even if they lost the games, out of the 3 games, they lost it, towards the end. They never give up. Even if the difference goes, let's say, 10 points or more for the other team, they never give up. They have a way to build, basket after basket and come back
I
in the
think
game.
they were behind 14 points, if I remember correct, on the game they won. So I'm thinking this game, when we were talking about this and what we select, we were both thinking, okay, Gonzalez seems more like a safe option because they do have a better chemistry. The team has been together for longer. The players know the system. They play pretty much automatic. Then if the game doesn't go well for them, they usually lose badly. And then on the other hand, I expect to see the knife in Pocheco's player teeth. They come into fight every possession, and even though they play outside, um, I would risk my money on to the underdog, because I think on this they are the underdog, but they do have players that they have the quality to close this game. So if they manage to stay close enough, I think they can just steal that one.
That's true. That's true.
So that's not one of the safe options, but that helps the people who don't have enough credits to build on good players and have the cheapest codes available.
Yeah, and also
it's very rare opportunity,
And also to add to your point, we're talking about a team. Yes, they have only 1 victory and they have 5 defeats so far, or 6 defeats.
Well, both of them.
Both of them. I'm talking about as well, mainly.
Yeah.
Because we talk about Pocheco now and as well. So when we discuss about quality, we're talking about a team that has Decolo, and an all-time EuroLeague player at least. Lovern, who is very he has the skills and he can perform as well. And lastly, you see Lovavu Cabarro, he's starting to pick up the scoring. So you see that Pocheco's effect is right there.
And Scott.
And Scott, thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. And Mike Scott. So you see that if I can call it the Pocheco effect, to the team is already starting to be implemented in a way.
Yeah. I was thinking something about, what was it, the Maccabi game. So yeah, we're going with Maccabi and Olympiacos. I'm not sure if Milutinov is healthy or not. Is he playing?
I'm not sure. That's why I said he's battling, I think, several injuries, not just one injury. He has several injuries at the moment. So in my opinion, it's not confirmed yet, but in my opinion, it will be again a game time call if he plays or not. And also, even if he plays, we don't know how many minutes. If he's in a minute restriction, that means that he can play, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes, no more. So in this case, Fall will be the main center of Olympiacos. And then you have Maccabi with Rivero and Nibo in the paint.
Correct. And on another note about Armani Milano, because we keep talking like negative about them. If they manage to win, that will be the second continuous win. Like they will have a streak of 2 wins. Although it's a very difficult game at Virtus, and we both really like the way that Virtus play, and they have to bounce back for the bad defeat in Madrid. But let's say if they manage to do it, I'm just gonna go back to last year when the team started to roll. Cena's team started to roll on the second half of the year. They almost got into the playoffs, although they started, if you remember, towards the last 3 positions, I think, from the bottom, and then they started a huge streak. They're just winning any other opponent, so they have the best, potentially one of the best forwards in the game. Mirotic, they have Seals that is an amazing forward. So if they find the missing piece at the guard, I
It,
wouldn't be surprised if suddenly Milan, does another switch again this year at some point. So let's see.
that's why I mentioned also for Olympiacos. I think these two teams, they just are one piece away from starting rolling, and both of them, they need a guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Both
Okay,
need a guard.
so it's a double fixture week, so I'm gonna look at the round 9. And at the round 9, as you mentioned, we had all the Spanish game. We have another Spanish game, so Barça versus Valencia.
Mhm.
And I believe right now is, I think, 9 credits Grimao. Grimao is a good option for the win, especially with Jones being questionable and Harper being injured. However, if Jones is full healthy, that will be a difficult game. But we believe that Barcelona has been performing quite well, and they have the edge over Valencia. So that's the first coach selection there. Um, then we have again, we're gonna go against Alba, unfortunately, and sorry to our German friends. But they play at Belgrade, and as we mentioned at the start of the show, the atmosphere there is like a sixth player all over you. So we gonna give Zelimir Obradovic the other solution for that round. I think currently is at 7.0 credits. We don't know how that goes, but is a good solution market. And finally, we have Olympiacos playing at home versus Cervena Zvezda. They should be able at home to take that one. So Barzokas will be our last option for round 9. Right now it's at 7.8. This may change, potentially go down if they lose or up if they win versus Maccabi. And then, as you can see, there are some other very important games, as the Milano FS or the Maccabi Fener, great games. And also Zalgiris Bayern, we think probably Zalgiris will be, both of these teams will be very hot and they will really take a win, get back on good form. So great games to watch on round 9 as well. That is starting on Thursday as usual. So you only had less than 24 hours to make your team since from midnight Thursday till late afternoon where the game starts. So with that, I am going to get on our teams. And here we have
A tragedy. It's a Greek tragedy.
Cross. Yeah, we have a Titanic. Call
I
it as you
mean,
wish.
in this team, just imagine if you had Campazzo as a captain, you have 85 points. We have 97 here.
Yeah, that's
Without even
okay.
adding the rest of the players.
So
Well, it happens. It happens.
when we built the team at the start of the season, we said we want to build this year around Campazzo. Then for some reason we had to take him out. So here we are. That did horribly wrong, although we have the good players here. They all have rough games except of Evans. As we said earlier, Tavares is back, so I think it's time for Poirier to go. Although he may still, have a great game of 20 plus points. But if we remember what happened last year, it was a pretty similar picture. You had Tavares not performing, playing only 15 to 20 minutes max in the rotation, and then suddenly has a switch, and then second half playoffs and all the way, Final Four MVP. That's who Tavares is. So now that Tavares is starting playing, we think, if you can afford him, it's gonna be definitely a very great decision. Now, for us, with the money we had, again, we started with the crazy option of Potseko, as we explained earlier. And that because give us the ability, the only 4 credits, to build a better team. And then we decided Leday, that we were expecting from him quite a lot, to be honest. We even have him as a captain on day one. He's out for Sedekerskis. Very difficult game, but we expect another double-double. We had him on our deep value team, so we keep having him, for a long time in our team, Sedekerski. So now I don't know if he's the first time or back, but yeah, now he's on the AlleyOopDunks. We also brought in Moneke for Da Silva. So you see, as I said, the coach selection helped us to improve the team. So Moneke really, I don't have much to say. I mentioned him at the start. He may have a difficult game, but that's one for us to risk on. Sengelia can go. I mean, we only have 3 changes, so we decided to have Poirier out for the reasons I explained just now, and with 10.5 credits to get in Tiemann. Tiemann, he's been playing at the top level all this year. As you can see, he is having a starting role almost in the team. So you can see 27 to 31 minutes mainly, and he consistently scores well. Apart from Monaco and Valencia, both away games that he scored less than 10, everything else is above 12, 13 points. So he can easily score, and as you can see, he can also take the rebounds. So with 10.5, we have Tiemann there. Of course, we keep Evans, and perhaps that's our solution for tier 2 captain. If Sedekerskis or Moneke had a different opponent, maybe there would be. Also, Lesort could be an ideal solution for a bounce back, as he had a mediocre game. So maybe if Sengelia doesn't have a great game, he's playing against Mirotic as well. We have Evans and Lesort perhaps for solution for the second round. And that's our first team. So, Konstantinos, do you want to go to the second team, or do you have any comments or anything more for this one?
Well, this one, it's a work in progress, I can say. But I believe we manage, bringing Sadakaskis and Moneke and Timan. It's a very good, beginning, but to start building a strong team. But this helps a lot the coach. So Potsako's value helps us to spend more for players.
And let's see how we're gonna bring back Campazzo.
Yeah,
That would be like a tough one.
yeah,
Right.
that's a trick. That's a tricky one.
So I give you the chance to get on the good
Yes,
Campazzo team.
This this team, as you see, we get 10 points from Coach Chan from FS Victory, and yeah, you see Campazzo by himself brought 85 points, as we discussed. Then Mitoglu another 33. So only from 2 players we have more than 100 points. Even though that Shields did not perform, still we managed to have 175 points, if I see. But you see, all the other players except Bellinelli and Marinkovic, I'm talking about the players who give 100%, they give less than 10. All the other players give us more than 10, which was enough. And based on that results, what we did for round 8 is we brought Coach Ataman instead of Chan. We believe Panathinaikos will bring that victory to Aka and the atmosphere, and they will have another victory. Then we had the Italian substitution from the national team. Floccadori came in instead of Bellinelli. Again, I have to say, Bellinelli, he is performing this season. It was a tough game versus Real Madrid. Don't get the Bellinelli wrong, but this year Bellinelli is performing into a banking system.
Yeah, we
For
didn't have enough credits, right? So we left with zero. So we spent every
Mhm,
single
mhm.
penny, even the 0.2. So
Yeah,
we wouldn't have taken out Villinelli, but that was the
of
only way
course.
we could
Yeah,
do this to bring Ataman mainly, right?
because if you see, we brought Ataman, and also we don't have English anymore, but we brought Nikic with 4 credit, just 4 credits, which is the minimum number of credits, because we wanted to bring Mirotic to the team. So instead of Manek, so you see, I think the changes we made here is a combination of 2 players with more or less close to 4 credits, and then we have top tier coach and a top tier forward. Because you see now this team, I mean, it has Campazzo, it has Mitalu, who is like now with Juancho injured, he's the main forward of Panathinaikos. So and he's performing. And also we have Mirotic. Okay, he's Mirotic. You know, the least he can do per night is 15 fantasy points. Shields, who we believe he will step up and come back to the gold all times. And then also we have Abramovich, Marinkovic, and Mazzucas, who potentially can give you some points, especially Avramovic and Marinkovic. But Mazzucas also, again, with the absence of Juan, so he can get some playing time at the 4 for Panathinaikos. We kept also Fall as our center. Fall is having a good, I think, 3-4 rounds now, who is giving more than 10 fantasy points. So overall, you see, we said so many negative things about our money, but we have 3 players from Olympia Milan in this team. So we believe it will be a good first round. To be honest, we had a big dilemma if the captain is Mirotic or Campazzo, but how can you say no to Campazzo after what he did in the last round? So overall, these are our teams. As I said, the main team is a work in progress because we want to bring Campazzo back. This team has Campazzo, but let's see how this round will go. And as Bill said earlier, we have less than 24 hours to make changes from round 8 to round 9 because it's a double week.
Yeah, so yeah, you may heard more from us from X, the previous Twitter. And yeah, hope you liked that video and see you next time. Have a great double fixture week and we'll speak to you next week.
Yes, see you guys. Have a great week and have a great round 8 and round 9 in EuroLeague.